Good morning and welcome to the Velocity Fireside conversation on this snowy Sunday morning. I want to share a verse with you from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans that I have made for you, not to harm you, but to give you hope and a future. Back in 2014, in the fall of 2014, we committed to a 30-day prayer challenge at Velocity. And during that time, Terry Apple shared her thoughts with us from her journey each day during the 30 days. And each week we were challenged in the message to draw prayer circles on a sheet like this, and to seek God for the things that we felt compelled to pray about. And I believe that we have been blessed because of that focus. You see, if we seek Him like we never before have sought Him, we will experience Him like never before. There wasn't anything magical about the 30 days. But we began to understand that if we wanted God to do something new in us and something different in our church and our family, we could not keep doing the same thing. The verse I shared with you today from Jeremiah, God knows the plans that He has made, not to harm us, but to give us hope and to give us a future. It brings me back to this thought of seeking Him. You see, since He knows the plans that He's made for us and He knows the promises that He has for our lives, why not seek after Him? There was a man by the name of Rodney Gypsy Smith that was born on the outskirts of London back in 1860. Gypsy never received a formal education, but yet he lectured at Harvard. And despite his humble beginnings, he was invited by 2 different presidents to speak at the White House. He crisscrossed the Atlantic 45 times, sharing the gospel with millions of people. And he never preached without someone surrendering their life to Christ. Imagine that. Never preached without someone surrendering their life to Christ. Gypsy was powerfully used by God. Everywhere he went, it seemed like revival was on the trail with him. Right on his heels, great things began to happen in those cities. But it wasn't his preaching that brought revival. It never is, really. You see, preaching might move the hearts of men and women, but it's prayer that moves the heart of God. And that's where revival comes from. Gypsy gave the secret to a group of people that came to talk with him. They wanted to find out how they could experience God in their own lives like he had experienced God. They wanted to know how they could make a difference with their lives in the same way that he had made with his. His answer was simple, but it was very profound. It's still as good as it was 100 years ago. It's as timeless as it will ever be. Here's what he said. He said, go home and lock yourself in your room. Kneel down in the middle of the floor, and with a piece of chalk, draw a circle around yourself. And there on your knees, pray fervently and brokenly that God would start a revival within that circle. So I ask you this morning, why not get into that circle and ask God to fix this? God, you know the plans that you have made for me. Would you fix me so that I can be the person that you can use to fulfill those plans? Fix me so that I can show Christ to all of those that I come into contact with. Yesterday, Dave and I were privileged to lead a man to Christ in his home. Through that conversation, he struggled through the issues of life, and relationships that had gone bad, family disputes, and actually just downright hateful things and hurtful things that had happened to him throughout his life. But at some point in that conversation, God's presence seemed to come into that room. And we literally invited Harold to draw the circle around himself and to ask God to fix me. Not to fix everybody else and all of the other people that had been a part of Harold's life, and not the years of mistakes and the relationships and all of those different things, but Lord, would you fix me? And with tears in his eyes, he began to pray after us. And he prayed, Lord, would you fix me? And he prayed the sinner's prayer. And you know what I believe happened yesterday? I believe that God fixed his heart yesterday. Harold now wants to be baptized. He wants to invite several people to witness it with him. We're going to pray that his family comes to witness this baptism. And I want you this morning to pray that he continues to seek after God's will. That he seeks that God will fix him and not get distracted by all of the things that are outside the circle. Then later yesterday, Cheryl and I shared the same message. with a struggling mother. Yes, there were things that had went wrong. There were tough decisions that had been made in her life, and there was evil that others had inflicted on her. But we encouraged her to draw the circle around her life and to pray for God to fix me. And it was a great time of sharing. And I began to think even more strongly about this verse, that I know the plans I have made for you, not to harm you, but to give you hope and to give you a future. And I began to think even more strongly then about the song that I've sung for many years called God Has Got a Plan for Me. Had we been at church today, I had decided I was going to sing this song. And in just a few minutes, we're going to try to upload it to Facebook as well so that you can listen to this song. Because He does know the past and He sees the future. He sees the start and the finish and the beginning and the end. So I asked the question this morning, why not seek Him? 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse number 14. The scripture said, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. How many of you would join us at 7:14 a.m. or 7:14 p.m. during this week and pray that God would meet with us at Church of Velocity next Sunday, that God would meet with our families, that He would meet with people that are going through difficult times and tough times in their life? The time is not really important, whether it's 7:14 a.m. or p.m. or just a given time during the day, but it's a daily reminder for us to simply draw the circle. Draw the circle around ourselves and draw the circle around other people that we've come in contact with. I'd like for you this morning to post on the Facebook page if you'll join us. Or would you send a text to me today to 317-796-4083. 317-796-4083. If you'll join us at 7:14 a.m. or 7:14 p.m. and pray this prayer, draw that circle around your own life and say, Lord, would you fix me? God, you know the plans. I'm going to draw the circle. And I'm going to say to fix me. This is not an ASAP prayer, that as soon as possible prayer, Lord. But it's as long as it takes type of prayer. I want you to listen to the words of the song that we're going to upload to Facebook today as well. And God bless you today. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.